Good morning. We are going to read part 4. I know it's backwards here. Part 4, How to Get Over Your BS Already. Chapter 17. I'm going to do this in 2 parts because it's a little bit longer. So let's get on with it. It's so easy once you figure out it isn't hard. I was hanging out in my sunny California home one morning, reading the newspaper with the doors flung open and the stereo blasting, when all of a sudden a bird came tearing into my living room. He was flapping around like a maniac, flying into lamps and plants, spreading leaves, feathers, poop, and panic all over the place. In an attempt to escape, he kept slamming himself into the window, while I feebly chased him around with a flip-flop, trying to get him back towards the open door. It was awful to watch. The poor guy was all panting and wild-eyed, his little birdie heart no doubt about to explode with fear while he threw himself over and over again onto the glass at full speed. I finally managed to escort him outside to freedom, and then spent a very bothered few minutes calming my little birdie heart while I revisited the scene of the accident. I imagined his confusion and frustration. I can see the sky, it's right there. If I fly hard and fast enough, I know I can reach it. It made me think of the way so many of our lives live our lives. We can see what we want and nearly kill ourselves trying to get it in a way that's not working. Meanwhile, if we just stopped, got quiet for a minute or two, and looked at things a little differently, we'd notice the door to what we wanted to being held open for us by a nice little lady in the bathrobe across the room. Then all we'd have to do is fly through it. Oh, the drama we create for ourselves. We're so deeply wrapped up in our stories. I don't have the money. I'm not good enough. I can't quit my job. I'm lazy. I have bad hair. Yeah, in a ponytail, so nobody can see it. Trudging through life with our heads down, clinging our false beliefs like lifeboats full of doo-doo, that we prevent ourselves from seeing the little infinite sea of possibilities and opportunities surrounding us at every single moment. Have you ever walked down a street that you've walked down a million times and suddenly noticed a house or a tree or a mailbox or something else totally obvious and in your face that you've never noticed before? Or have you ever suddenly become aware of the eye color of someone you've known for years? Or have you ever looked at your mother and thought, I was inside that woman once? All of this stuff didn't suddenly appear and then you noticed it. It was there all along. You just weren't experiencing it because your focus was directed somewhere else. Here's a cool exercise. Right now, look around wherever you are and count the number of things you see that are red. Take about a minute and count them all. Now stop. Look back at this page without taking your eyes off of it and try to think of everything around you that's yellow. There's probably a ton of yellow, but you didn't see it because you weren't looking. You were looking for red. What you choose to focus on becomes your reality. And that's just an example of what we're not noticing that we can see. There's also an infinite amount of emotions and thoughts and beliefs and interruptions and sounds and dreams and opportunities and smells and point of views and ways to feel good and responses and non-responses and things to say and ways to help. Yet, because we're so set in our ways and committed to our stories about who we are and what our reality looks like, we only scratch the very surface of that's available to us every single moment. Meanwhile, we're totally surrounded by countless awesome versions of reality, and they're all just hanging around like a bunch of shy teenage girls at the prom, leaning against the walls waiting for us to take them to the dance. As the poet William Blake so eloquently stated, if the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. So why would we create anything that's not totally awesome? I mean, we're only talking about your life here. If you choose to get over all the reasons why the money you desire is so evil, and your identity of someone who's scared of intimacy, or your attachment to a plethora of other excuses that you perceive to be very serious and real when they're really probably kind of cute and ridiculous, you could literally create any reality you want. Whenever I become impressed by a particularly creative array of new excuses I've come up with, or start to organize an elaborate pity party for myself, I turn to Ray Charles. I don't often listen to his music, but I always think about Ray when I need a kick in the buttinsky. He was a broke, blind minority who was orphaned by the age of 15 and raised in the colored part of town, in a time when slavery wasn't all that distant of memory, and he went on to become one of the most influential and successful American musicians of all time. Basically, he wasted no time on excuses. Any little wooism that I try to hold up against Ray instantly wilts into a sniveling, nice try, that is, and I'm forced to look upon my life and my excuses with the new perspective. Really? You're really going to let that stop you? All you have to do is make the right choice. Make the choice to let everything go that you've attached so that you're not serving you, and manifest a reality that you want. Life is an illusion created by your perception, and it can be changed the moment you choose to change it. Our entire experience on this planet is determined by how we choose to perceive our reality. I know, as if, it can't be that easy. If it was that simple, how could I possibly have spent all this time banging my head against the glass wall of my own self-created no-hummery? But before you get into a bad mood about it, remember, all this stumbling around in realities we pretend to be stuck in is very valuable because it allows us to grow and learn and evolve. Rough seas make better sailors. But you get to choose how long you want to stay in school and work on the same issues over and over and over. Your graduation cap, your gown are cleaned and pressed and waiting for you whenever you want to pull them out. All you have to do is let go of your present story and rewrite a new one that fits who you truly are. If you want to join the party and shift your perception, do what I say in this book and really do it. Don't just half-ass it. And while you're at it, believe it too. Study the resources I suggest in the back of the book and on my website. Commit to releasing your attachment to low-frequency thoughts and experiences. Trust that the universe loves the crap out of you. Kick fear in the face and head bravely into the unknown. Also, do the following. So I'll do a few here. Number 1, become aware of what your stories are. We call these stories because they're just that. They are not the truth. They can be rewritten. You're the author of your own life, not your parents, not society, not your partner, not your friends, not the bullies who call you the fatzilla in junior high. And the sooner you decide to write yourself a better script, the sooner you get to live a more awesome life. Before you can let go of your stories, get clear on what they are. Listen to what you say and what you think about, and start busting yourself in your own lies. We get so used to and so identify with our broken records, and we don't even notice that they exist or that they're not even real, and yet we'll fight to the death to uphold the non-truths. Listen specifically for sentences that begin with I always, I never, I can't, I shouldn't, I suck at, I wish, I want, opposed to I will and I am. I don't have, one day, I'm trying to. Sad Sack Jane, the lawyer, said she should keep her miserable job at the prestigious firm because she'll never find one that she likes that pays as well. Really? Is that why nobody on earth anywhere is doing a job that they love and make money, even more money than they make, Jane? Lonely-hearted Sally always says she can't find a good single man because there aren't any left out there. Really, Sally? All the good single men were hunted down and killed, so no matter how many dates you go on, or how many times you put a sexy high heels on and hang out at Home Depot, you'll never bump into one? I never put heels on to go to Home Depot. You? Not me. Was the awesome guy your friend, Deb, just met the lone survivor of the good guy genocide? Sorry. Broke-ass Joe, the personal trainer, always talks about how he can't make any money and how there are no high-paying clients out there. Really, Joe? Not anywhere? Not anywhere? Then how is it that other personal trainers have more high-paying clients that they can handle, and that some even created energy drinks and pre-workout products with their pictures on them, and they're raking in the QVC? Another good place to catch yourself in a story is by looking at areas in your life that are sagging. If you're constantly angry, maybe your story is nobody understands me. If you're always overweight, maybe your story is I have no self-discipline. If you're uninvited from Thanksgiving dinner because you wouldn't let anyone else talk at the last 3 family gatherings, maybe your story is no one pays attention to me. Remember, as Wallace Wattles said, to think what you want to think is to think the truth regardless of appearance. Instead of pretending to be stuck in those lame-o realities, use your power and thought to change your attitude and change your life. Start paying attention. What are your favorite self-sabotaging stories? What do you hear yourself think and say over and over that has become who you are, or rather who you think you are? Bust yourself in your own tired old broken records right now so you can set about rewriting your stories and create a life and create the kind of life you love. And I'm going to stop there, guys, because it's a little bit longer. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm going to read one more. We'll go with number 2. That was just 1. Number 2, become aware of what you're gaining from your stories. We pretty much don't ever do anything that we don't benefit from in some way, be it in a healthy way or an unhealthy way. If you're perpetuating something dismissal in your life because some dopey story, there's definitely something about it that you're getting off on. Let's say, for example, that your story is that you're depressed. Been there. Chances are pretty good that even though it feels awful, when you feel awful, you don't have to work hard in the laundry or do the laundry or go to the gym. It also feels very familiar and cozy and comfortable. It gets you attention. People come in and check on you and sometimes bring food. It gives you something to talk about. It allows you to not try too hard. It allows you to not try too hard and move forward and face possible failures. Lets you drink beer for breakfast. Let's say your story is that you can't make money, staying broke, and you're right, and you get to be right. You get to be a victim, which makes you dependent on other people and gets your attention. Other people will offer to pay. You don't have to take responsibility. You get to give up before you start and avoid possible failure. If things in your life fall far below the mediocre scale, you get to blame other people and circumstances instead of taking risk and change. It's because you can't afford to take that risk. Let's say your story is that you stink at relationships. You get your freedom. You don't have to commit, and you can keep looking for the greener grass on the other side. You don't have to risk getting hurt by being vulnerable. You get to complain about always being single and get sympathy. You get your whole bed to yourself. Never have to compromise. And you don't have to shave unless it's summer. I got to, because it feels yucky to me. We don't realize it, but we're making the perks we get from perpetuating our stories more important than getting the things we really want because it's familiar territory. It's what we're comfy with, and we're scared to let it go. If we've been depressed or victimized or whatever since childhood, we trick ourselves into believing that it's really who we are as adults in order to continue reaping the rewards. It's how we survive as kids, but it doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve us anymore, so we need to get rid of it, or we'll just keep creating more of it. For example, let's say you grew up with a violent alcoholic father, and your way to protect yourself from being the target of his rage was to never speak up, to never let yourself or your wants and wishes be visible. Cut to you as an adult who never speaks your truth or who never stands up for yourself. You're still reaping the false rewards. You're playing it safe, not risking getting hurt or yelled at. But this behavior is backfiring on you because you're hiding and not taking a stand for yourself. You're living a life that totally makes you want to roll over and go back to sleep every morning instead of getting up and facing your day. Once you identify the false beliefs you're reaping and holding on to your own stories, You can start the process of letting go and replace them with the new empowered ones that serves the adult in you. And that is what we're going to stop at today. We'll start number 3. It's got 3, a big long one, 4, 5, 6, and a little tiny 7. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Read on and let me know. What do you wear to Home Depot?